What's up, everybody? And today we're going to be checking out this insane news that came out last night about Russia encroaching yet again on NATO territory, going over borders they should not be going over. We're going to be talking about it. We're going to be breaking it down. I've got so much to say about it. Before we get started, though, as always, check out the channel sponsor, Chug. 10% off, link down below for the best drinking vessel in the world. Handmade here in the UK by a small business using sustainable materials. These things are phenomenal. Free customization, free bag, 10% off, link down below. Also, as of today, we are exactly 1 week away from the launch of Morale to the general public. Today is the 1 week mark. Can you believe it? After literally nearly 2 years of hard work, nearly 2 years, we're all going to be able to do this. Crack open a can of Morale. It tastes so good. It tastes so good. You can get your hands on that if you're in the UK. If you back the Kickstarter, we're going to be fulfilling your orders this coming week and getting them sent out to you. The plan is to get them sent out to you before I start fulfilling any orders that are bought by the general public when it gets released. So if I can get that done this week, that would be great, because I want to prioritize the people who started this movement. If you want to be part of this movement, for those of you unaware, we're trying to get people outside more. That's literally the reason for this drink. The most social thing you can do, the most social thing that's been done throughout history, throughout time, is having a drink together. And if we can do that by getting people outside and having a drink with your friends outside in nature, whether that be hiking, whether that be around a fire, whether that be camping, whether that be foraging, whatever, while boosting your morale, giving you a bit of energy, we're going to do that. Very, very exciting. If you want to be part of the movement, check out the Instagram, the website. 7 days to go. Wow, I never thought I'd say that. It was one of them things when you start a business, it feels like you want it to happen straight away. Like, I'm one of them people, it's got to happen ASAP. And it takes work. It's taken nearly 2 years of work. Branding, marketing, the website, the can design, every little thing, every little bit designed, QR codes, everything, making sure we got the right can size, making sure the recipe and the flavor, which we've been working on for over a year now, tastes good and aligns with the ether. There's so much work that goes into a business that I didn't know before starting Morale. So cheers, guys, to all that hard work we've been doing. I appreciate you all. Other than that, let's shut up. Let's talk about this now. BBC News, whether you like them or not, I don't really care. They have a little segment just summarizing what's happened. We're not going to watch the whole video. It's like the first 45 seconds. Then we're going to pull up ground news, which is, we'll talk about ground news when we get to it.
Let's start with that breaking story, the developing story we've seen over the last hour or so, because Estonia's government says 3 Russian military jets entered NATO airspace without permission on Friday morning and stayed there for nearly 12 minutes. In a statement on X, a NATO spokesman said NATO responded immediately and intercepted the Russian jets, which had violated Estonian airspace, adding this is yet another example of reckless Russian behavior and NATO's ability to respond. The foreign minister of Estonia said the incident was the most brazen violation yet of its airspace and the 4th this year. He said Russia was increasingly testing its neighbours' borders with its aggression. The incident comes after a week in which more than 20 drones violated Polish airspace, prompting NATO jets to shoot some.
Which we're going to talk about that briefly as well in this video.
Down, and a further Russian drone incursion over Romanian territory close to the Ukrainian border. So let's get...
I want to keep that map up real quick. Let me get that map back up. Okay, so we've got Estonia up here, up top here. You can see it, Poland, Romania. Okay, we are seeing this. It seems like Russia are really just like testing the waters constantly of the borders to see what they can get away with. And I think they're doing it strategically at the best time to do it. The reason I say that is they want NATO to not constantly be worrying about Ukraine. They want them to be worrying about their own borders now. And so they're trying to put pressure on NATO to be looking elsewhere instead of Ukraine. That's point number one. Point number two is politically, around the UK and the US right now, it's quite intense. People are looking at each other rather than looking at Russia. They've got the marches that I haven't talked about on here yet. The marches that have happened in the UK with the free speech marches down in London. If you didn't know, it was one of the biggest protests in UK history. We're not going to get into that, but it's a big point as why there's a divide in the UK right now. In the US, obviously, with everything that happened with the Charlie Kirk assassination and killing, there's so much. There's the free speech thing that's going on right now with Jimmy Kimmel that's been cancelled, and there's loads of political stuff happening over in the US. So much so that when something happens yesterday, people have already forgot about it. People have already moved on, which the news cycle a year ago was quick. 2 years ago was quick, but it's getting quicker and quicker because so much is happening every single day. If the news doesn't come out, if you don't hear about it that exact moment, the next day you don't want to hear about it. You're not bothered. You know, there'll be people who will see this and be like, old news. It was last night. It was yesterday this happened. People will be watching this video being like, oh, is he talking about this? Happened yesterday. Old news. That's the way people are these days, which is just insane. And so Russia are looking at all that stuff and thinking, you know what? This is the perfect time for us to just prod the fire. Just prod it a little bit here and there. Because to them, they're doing the oldest play in the book. Oh, we're just going into the airspace a little bit. And then all of a sudden that becomes the norm. That becomes the norm. They'll do it again. Oh yeah, we've done it again. It's not that big of a deal. They do it all the time. Before you know it, they're doing something else that's even more extreme. Oh, yeah, they'll do that a few times. Oh, yeah, but they do it all the time. It's not a big deal. The problem with this is it's going to keep happening unless something happens. And NATO need to actually do something about this. Shoot them fucking down. If Russian jets come into NATO airspace, give them a time frame. If they're there for longer than, 10 minutes? Shoot them down. Shoot them down. Then Russia will be like, whoa, you can't do that. Well, yeah, you can. You're in our airspace. But the problem is, if NATO don't do anything, they get the drones that are coming into Poland and in Romania. They're getting the airspace compromised in Estonia. If they don't do anything, Russia's going to do it again because they know they can get away with it. It's insane. Okay, I've got up the news article. This is Ground News, if you don't know about this. Absolutely fantastic news website that is funded by people like me and you. You can get a subscription to it. In fact, I'll leave a link down below. You can get 40% off Ground News, 40%, which is insane. Basically, they take all of the common news companies, right? You've got like BBC, Fox News, Daily Mirror, The Independent, from all over the world, and it tells you whether the news articles are leaning left and right, which is really great because, let me pull up the main website. When you get an account and stuff, you can look at what's your blind spot, and it'll be like what's being covered mostly by the left, what's being covered mostly by the right, and it gives you the opportunity to really try and have a unbiased news source, which I think in this day and age is vital. As you can see, this bit of news about Russia violating Estonian airspace, it's been covered by over 500 different news sources. And yes, there's more left-leaning with 82 compared to more right-leaning with 71. But this center 88, you can see this is pretty much here covered just above my head by everyone. So we know this isn't a left or right-leaning thing. We know that this is a legitimate bit of news here. Russian MiG-31s violate Estonian airspace for 12 minutes as NATO F-35s intercept. 3 Russian MiG-31s jet violated Estonian airspace for 12 minutes on the 19th of September 2025, according to Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Taskna. I ain't pronouncing that correctly. Italian F-35s intercepted the Russian jets after they were reported flying over flight plans or communications as reported by NATO. Estonia summoned the Russian chargé d'affaires to protest the incursion, label it unprecedentedly brazen, according to Foreign Minister. The incident heightens tensions amid ongoing military conflicts involving Russia and NATO. Decisions are set to address the situation. Which, if I search NATO up here, there's another one here. Let me pull this up. Russian Defense Minister. Russian fighters did not violate Estonian airspace. This is what Russia's saying. So this is their rebuttal to it, saying, no, we never did that. We never did that. We was never there. On September 20th, which is today, Estonia accused 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets of violating its airspace near Vaindelo Island for 12 minutes. The incident, blah, 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 blah. Russian Defense Ministry denied the breach, posting on Telegram that independent monitoring confirmed no border violations during the flight. The airspace breach triggered Estonia's invocation of NATO's Article 4, which has been... The invocation of Article 4 has only happened, I think, less than 10 times in the history of NATO. 2 of them being in the past month. 2 of them being in the past month. One from Poland saying Russian drones have been here, and now one by Estonia. This is getting insane. And if NATO do nothing about it, Russia are going to keep doing it. This is what happens with bullies. If they don't get punished for their actions, they keep doing it. This is what happens. And so I want to see NATO actually fucking do something about it. I actually want to see him do something about it. Are we seeing any newer news about this? Let me see if I go over to the main thing here. Let's go BBC. Let's see BBC. Updated 3 hours ago. Estonia has requested a consultation with other NATO members after Russian warplanes violated the airspace on Friday. 3 Russian MiG-31 fighter jets. Yeah, we already know that. What's the update? Estonia Prime Minister Kristen Makal said NATO's response to any provocation must be a united and strong. Yeah, definitely. We consider it essential to consult with our allies to ensure shared situational awareness and to agree on our next joint steps. US President Donald Trump said on Friday, "We don't love it. We don't like when this happens. Could be big trouble." So, you know, I'm not a massive fan of Trump. I've given my criticisms of him every now and again. But for him to actually say, you know what, this shouldn't be happening, I'm glad to see it. I am glad to see it. Is there any newer updates on here? I don't know if there is. Russia's not commented on the issue. When we know that in response to Russia's incursions into Poland and Romania, NATO pledged to move troops and fighter jets eastward. It makes sense. Let's get NATO troops on the border. And if they encroach on the airspace, shoot them down. Otherwise, like, I get it. We don't want to go to war. We don't want to go to war. We don't want more people fighting. We don't want any more incursions by Russia. The truth is, if we do nothing about it, Russia are going to keep pushing. And before you know it, they're going to invade Estonia. Before you know it, they're going to be invading Poland. Before you know it, they're going to try and do more in Ukraine. I get it. Russia are struggling in Ukraine right now, and they're trying to divert attention elsewhere so the rest of the Western world doesn't keep looking at Ukraine and wanting to help them. And in fact, there's a lot of people that don't even want to help Ukraine anymore in the West. There's a lot of people like that because the news cycle's already moved on. Ukraine's been happening for 3+ years now. People are fed up of it. And the truth is, there's a lot of people who are against funding Ukraine. But the truth is, if we don't help Ukraine, Russia are just going to push further. And if Russia took Ukraine, people would be stupid to think that Russia will stop. They'll be in Poland and Estonia next. They will. Luckily, they're members of NATO. And Ukraine should have been a member of NATO. And I think that's a mistake they're well aware of now, but it's done and dusted. That's nothing they can do about it. And if this war ever stops, I think Ukraine will become a member of NATO. Let me know your opinion, especially if you are a veteran like I am. Let me know your opinion in the comments section down below. It is definitely worrying times. There's a lot of news out there right now, guys. Listen, there's a lot of noise. Charlie Kirk getting assassinated. Free speech being questioned, free speech protests in the UK. There's just every single day there's more breaking news and it can get a bit overwhelming. So get yourself outside, get yourself a drink, get yourself relaxing, enjoy yourself, touch some grass, breathe some fresh air, go and forage for some mushrooms, go and learn the names of the trees in your area. Just get outside and disconnect from the online world and reconnect with nature just that little bit, because it will help your mental health. I know for someone like me who's just in these news cycles all the time, it can be really overwhelming. It really can. It's stressful. It really is. And so, yeah, get yourself outside and take a deep breath. And then it gives you a better perspective when you get back online and you see these news articles. All right, let me know what you think in the comments. What should NATO do? Do we just let them keep violating the airspace? Because I don't think we should. Personally, I think it's, you give Russia an inch, they take a mile. Literally, they really will. I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section down below. This is the third incursion of Russia into NATO airspace within the past few weeks, and it's getting dangerous. It's getting really dangerous. Check out Chug, 10% off, link down below. Check out Ground News, 40% off, link down below. And check out Morale, because the movement starts in 1 week today. Until next time, I love you all. Stay safe. Goodbye.